Hey everyone, welcome back to Parts Unknown. My name is Nick, and it's been a little while, hasn't it? I've been spending the last month or so touching grass and not being chronically online, but alas, all good things must come to an end eventually. So, professional wrestling. You either love it, hate it, or get weirdly and scarily tribalistic about it. And I'll admit that back in the day, I used to be a fan of wrestling myself. And yes, I knew it was fake. But no matter what kind of opinion you have on it, if there's one wrestler that everyone is at least somewhat familiar with, it's gotta be John Cena! With a close second being Hulk Hogan. Whether in red and yellow or black and white, Hulk Hogan is pretty much the living embodiment of every wrestling trope imaginable. The Hulkster has become synonymous with wrestling in a myriad of ways, from body slamming Andre, to joining the NWO, to blowing a fireball into his own face, and being the right gay guy.
If you actually think that I was just the right gay guy...
But even through his highs and lows, because of his moments and how recognizable he is, Hogan has easily become one of America's most beloved figures.
I'm not a double standard type guy, I'm a racist to a point. Yeah.
Was one of America's most beloved figures. But moving aside from all of that, instead of focusing on the man himself today, this video will focus on the one thing more American than Hulk Hogan himself. Consumerism! We've all seen our fair share of strange merchandise that celebrities have attached their names to, and Hulk Hogan isn't a stranger to this practice. We've seen the man promote microwavable cheeseburgers, open a beach store in the middle of Florida, and riding ass naked on a wrecking ball to help promote a website hosting service. No, that is not a joke. And to no one's surprise, those examples only scratch the surface of the sheer amount of crap that Hogan has attached his name to. So over the past week, I've compiled a list of the weirdest pieces of Hulk Hogan merchandise that I could find, and dear lord, this dude must be allergic to not selling himself out. There were 3 cases in particular that really stood out, so I'll start by covering those in detail first, and then dump everything else out into a lightning round at the end. So without any further delay, let's begin our deep dive into the strange world of Hulk Hogan merchandise with a pasta restaurant. Out of all the business ventures that celebrities with too much money decide to go down, restaurants are by far one of the most popular. You have the likes of Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Channing Tatum, hell, Gordon Ramsay owns 90 of them. And going back to the mid-1990s, right as wrestling was about to hit a boom period, Hulk Hogan decided to open a restaurant of his very own. Inside a mall. On Labor Day in 1995, Hulk's restaurant would open in the Mall of America, the same mall where a physical Mr. Beast burger opened. Instead of opening a burger joint or even a pizza place, Hogan decided to open Pastamania, his very own pasta restaurant. Ah yes, because when I think of Hulk Hogan, I immediately think of Italian food. The restaurant's menu for the most part was a fairly standard pasta affair. You had your mix and match pastas, international pastas, which is a bit of an oxymoron, and ringside dishes that somehow still feel expensive post-inflation. But of course, you had your special Hulk-related dishes like Hulk's Power Pasta, and don't forget about the special menu for little pasta maniacs featuring Hulkaroni and cheese and Hulkios. Yes, Hulk Hogan-shaped SpaghettiOs. What you gonna do, brother, when the power of my Hulkaronis runs wild on you? I'm using that take. Hogan would also ramble about other items such as Hulkaroos and Hulkius.
And I've eaten so many Hulkaroos and Hulkius!
But there's literally no proof of either of those even being real items, so... great to see that Hulk Hogan doesn't even know the menu at his own restaurant. On the day of opening, the mall would also host a grand opening ceremony featuring the likes of Randy Savage, Jimmy Hart, and Hulk Hogan himself. And aside from a pasta eating contest, Hogan would introduce his restaurant in the most Hulk Hogan way possible.
Well, you know something, brother? Hulk Hogan's been running wild for a long time, but it is so crazy to see all the pasta maniacs, brother. Once you eat Hulk Hogan's Pasta Mania, brother, not only are you going to get the energy, the pythons, as you're pushing the shopping cart around, they're going to start to swell. You'll be able to pick more merchandise up off the shelves.
Ah yes, Terry, don't forget to show even more products to your army of children. The debut episode of WCW Nitro would also take place in the Mall of America, which of course featured its own spot for Pastamania. But even with the press and name recognition, the Hulkster's dream wouldn't last long. Pastamania shut its doors after only a few months, and would never see a reopening. To be honest though, it was probably doomed from the start since they decided to open next to Daddy's Deli. Pastamania wouldn't be the end of Hulk Hogan's ventures in the food industry, but before we get to that, let's head back to 1 year beforehand.
Had a busy day? My lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine is great to come home to.
The George Foreman grill, or the Lean, Mean, Fat-Reducing Grilling Machine, yes, that's the actual name, was introduced in 1994 by Sultan Incorporated. The grill not only became a runaway success, but also revolutionized home cooking into a compact device. But according to legend, the spokesman for the grill wasn't originally going to be George Foreman, and was instead going to be Hulk Hogan. And by legend, I of course mean Hulk Hogan himself. Hogan has said that he was called by Sultan to endorse the grill, but missed it since he was picking his kids up from school. But he's also gone on record saying he did pick up the call, but chose to endorse a meatball maker instead. Huh. Also for the Hulkamania meatball maker, that doesn't seem to exist either, so who even knows if any of this is even true. But anyway, Hogan decided to exact revenge on Foreman, and 13 years later decided to invent his very own grill. His words, not mine.
I'm gonna show you my latest invention, Hulk Hogan's Ultimate Grill. Brother.
Hulk Hogan's Ultimate Grill was released in 2007 by TriStar Products, and is pretty much what you'd expect from a lean, mean, fat-reducing grilling machine ripoff. Brother. Throughout a 30-minute infomercial, we watch a guy teach Hogan how his own grill works as they make burgers, paninis, cookies, and waffles. And if I'm being honest, this doesn't look like a bad product. Sure, the idea of Hulk Hogan himself inventing this seems shaky at best, but seeing how much variety is packed into this one product, if I didn't know any better, I'd probably buy one. And I'm certainly not the only one who felt this way.
It's very interesting that you can do all this with the one system. It's just nice to be able to get something done for the whole family all at once.
I can't wait to get this for my dorm room.
You could get the grill for the low price of 3 installments of $33.33, which adjusted for inflation equals holy shit. But of course, this was all too good to be true, as the grill would go on to get some pretty negative reviews. I like the style, but the grill gets way too hot for the countertop. I'm kind of afraid to use it because of this. It does not close tightly, so it does not cook evenly. Now the plastic around the back is cracked and broken, and I am returning the item today. Cheaply made, and it basically scared me. I did not want to plug it in. It looked like an accident waiting to happen. And in a bit of ultimate irony, the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Grill would be recalled less than a year later, due to causing fires when cooking sprays were used on the plates. You know, I'm starting to think that Hulk Hogan really was the inventor of this grill. The Hulk Hogan Ultimate Grill would never see the light of day again, while the George Foreman Grill is still popular to this day. Moving away from food for today's final product, one thing that people tend to forget about wrestling is how synonymous it is with music. I mean, think about it. You have wrestlers' theme songs, pay-per-view theme songs, and even full albums released by the WWE and WCW. We've also seen Chris Jericho start his own hard rock band, and rap albums from Randy Savage and John Cena. And of course, Hulk Hogan has released his own album as well, and it's easily the worst out of everything that I just mentioned. Around the same time Pastamania opened its proverbial doors, Hulk Rules was released under Select Records in 1995. The album was attributed to the Wrestling Boot Band, which comprised of Hulk Hogan, his then wife Linda, Jimmy Hart, and JJ Maguire, a guy who helped create several wrestler theme songs. The album for the most part is your standard AOR record, but with an added layer of cock-sucking for the Hulkster. You have American Made, which was Hogan's theme song in WCW and a blatant ripoff of Real American. Bad to the Bone, which is pretty much the exact same as American Made but with different lyrics. And Wrestling Boot Traveling Band, which sounds like Jimmy Hart singing a Jimmy Buffett cover song.
And I headed for the Sunshine State.
And while all of those songs are far from being anywhere even close to being good, one nice thing that I can say about them is, at least Hulk Hogan didn't rap over them.
I was born, I was bred, I was southern fit. Got a crazy idea running through my head.
Once we get to Hulkster's back, the already derailed train topples over and explodes. That track features Hulk rapping about moving to California mixed with unintelligible noises from Linda.
Wanna know?
Beach Patrol has him rapping about tanning over a goddamn Sonic CD sample. And I Wanna Be a Hulkamaniac features the most mind-numbing chorus I've ever heard in my life. But even through its faults, there is one song on this album that defies everything else. The penultimate track is Hulkster in Heaven, an ode to a Hulk Hogan fan that passed away. The story of the song is that in 1992, while in the UK, Hulk Hogan invited a Make-A-Wish kid to ringside for one of his matches, but the kid would pass before the match had begun. Hogan and Jimmy Hart then wrote the song in honor of him, and donated the proceeds of the album to the family to help pay their medical bills. And all jokes aside, This is a really beautiful and beyond heartwarming story. If it's true. Yeah, there's 0 records of Hulk Hogan wrestling in the UK in 1992. He was signed to the WWF at the time, but he was on leave due to a certain steroid trial. And even though Hogan references Wembley Stadium in the song itself, he wouldn't even wrestle there until 1994. So, I'm not going to claim that Hogan lied about a dying child for sympathy points, because as a journalism major, that would be considered defamation, but given the track record of him not knowing what his restaurant is selling, not getting his story straight about the grill, and lying about a meatball maker, I don't think it's unfair to not trust everything this dude says. Hulk rose with peak at number 12 on the Billboard Top Kid audio charts, and has worn the 99-cent bins ever since. I only covered 3 things and that still took forever. Now that we've gotten through a failed restaurant, a portable fire hazard, and an album that drunk uncles everywhere would say is better than all that mumble crap, it's now time for a lightning round of every other piece of strange Hulk Hogan merchandise that I could find. Because if I talked about everything, we'd be here for weeks. Hulk Hogan Thunder Mixer, Hulk Hogan Shampoo, Hulk Hogan Beer Koozie thing, Hulk Hogan Foam Ear, Hulk Hogan Bleacher Creature, Hulk Hogan Workout Set, Hulk Hogan Squirt Head, Hulk Hogan Energy Drink, Hulk Hogan Beer, Hulk Hogan Slippers, a patent for Hulk Hogan meat-warming shoes, Hulk Hogan Fist Helmet, Hulk Hogan Lawn Chair, the entirety of Hogan Knows Best, Hulk Hogan Film Camera, Hulk Hogan Thunderlips Doll, Hulk Hogan Infant Costume, an assortment of Hulk Hogan socks, Hulk Hogan Zombie Lawn Gnome, Hulk Hogan Online Gambling, Hulk Hogan Dating Hotline, Hulk Hogan Children's Vitamins, Hulk Hogan Candy Dispenser, Hulk Hogan Josman Mask, Hulk Hogan Toothbrush, Hulk Hogan Hot Rod, No Holds Barred, Santa with Muscles, Suburban Commando, Hulk Hogan Vape, Hulk Hogan Prostate Medicine, Hulk Hogan this, Hulk Hogan that, Hulk Hogan that, Hulk Hogan area, Hulk Hogan, 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 this Hogan, Hulk 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 Hogan head on a stick. You know, out of everything I've seen today, that by far has to be the strangest. So anyway, moral of the story, Hulk Hogan only cares about your money. In other news, water is wet. So I hope you all enjoyed this trip through Hulk Hogan's piggy bank with me. And remember, don't be racist, brother. Thank you all for watching, and take care.